Okay, back on the Rich Van Tassel channel. I'm going to be breaking down the first football Sunday of the NFL season, the 2015 season. We already had the New England Patriots defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday night. So we're breaking down the first football Sunday. I'm going to give you the game picks here. We're going to start with Green Bay, who's traveling to Chicago to play the Bears. It's going to be too much Aaron Rodgers in this game. He's going to find his weapons in Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson. Jay Cutler's going to make mistakes and be shaky. I like Packers to win big, 34 to 17. Next game is the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Houston to play the Texans. This is a game that, while it's the first game of the season, is going to be very important because I think both these teams are going to be right on the cusp of the wild card contention. So this is going to prove huge in tiebreakers. So Houston's defense is going to have its way. J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless, and Jadeveon Clowney are going to be rushing the passer and really putting pressure on Alex Smith behind that suspect offensive line. In Kansas City, Brian Hoyer is going to do enough to win. Houston, 21 to 17. Cleveland Browns traveling to New York to play the Jets. These are two teams I have both finishing last, but one of these teams is almost certainly going to come out of this game 1-0 and put them in position to possibly rally for the season. Cleveland's offensive line with Joe Thomas and Alex Mack are going to hold up against the Jets' very good front seven. And Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to make one, if not many, mistakes. Cleveland comes out of New York with the win 16-13. The Indianapolis Colts traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. The Bills are at home in this game. They are without Marcel Darius, the defensive tackle. That's going to hurt them, especially against an Andrew Luck, who you need to get pressure on. But Mario Williams and Jerry Hughes are going to get enough pressure. And Stephon Gilmore and Ronald Darby are going to do a good job in the secondary to really neutralize Andrew Luck. Tyrod Taylor will surprise in his first opportunity. Buffalo gets off to a good start this year. They win 20 to 17. The Miami Dolphins at the Washington Redskins. I think that the Redskins are going to rally around Kirk Cousins. I think there's a lot of support for him within that locker room as far as the players. But too much Ndamukong Suh in this game, and Ryan Tannehill is going to make enough plays. Washington stays competitive. Miami comes out of Washington with the win 23 to 20. Carolina Panthers are traveling to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. The Jaguars are an improved team. They're going to show that and play well, but Cam Newton is not going to let this team lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Panthers 27 to 16. Seattle going to St. Louis to play the Rams. It's a division game, so Seattle's going to have its problems there because St. Louis knows what they do. They know how to play them. Nick Foles is going to look to go downfield. He's going to struggle against that secondary. Seattle's defense will be too much. Janoris Jenkins on the defensive side of the ball for the Rams is going to play well, especially against the Seahawks' average wide receivers, Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse. If St. Louis wants to have any shot, they're going to need Chris Long and Robert Quinn to get pressure on the quarterback. I think they will, just not enough. Russell Wilson shines late and shows why he's going to be an MVP. Seahawks 24 to 21. New Orleans Saints traveling to Arizona to play the Cardinals. We know Drew Brees likes to throw the ball for the Saints. Patrick Peterson is going to neutralize that in the secondary. And Chris Johnson is going to show what the Arizona Cardinals were lacking in the running game and have a good game. I like the Cardinals 28 to 20 at home over the Saints. The Detroit Lions travel to San Diego to play the Chargers. Detroit is without DeAndre Levy, and their defensive secondary is suspect. I think Philip Rivers, quality quarterback, finds his big targets downfield, and they come out of they win the game at home. Defend their home field. Chargers 28 to 24. Tennessee Titans going to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers, matchup of the top two overall picks in the draft. You had Marcus Mariota for the road team, the Tennessee Titans, as a second overall pick, and Jameis Winston for the home team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the number one overall pick. We talked about Tampa Bay. They have more talent, and they have a quality young group. Tennessee really doesn't have much talent at all. Doug Martin, Mike Evans will help Jameis Winston, and on the defensive side of the ball, DeAndre Levy, along with Teron Werner. Not DeAndre Levy. Gerald McCoy at defensive tackle, along with Teron Werner. Tampa Bay gets the job done at home, 24-14. Cincinnati going to Oakland. The Bengals against the Raiders. Cincinnati's defensive line is going to put Oakland's offensive line to the test. The offensive line for Oakland's really going to be heated in this year. They're going to have to protect Derek Carr. I think they will get beat enough, but I also think they'll do enough to keep Carr upright. He'll find his weapons in Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper. And on the defensive side of the ball, DJ Hayden's going to have his hands full with AJ Green. AJ Green will make plays, but Oakland will make a few more. Oakland 24-23 late against Cincinnati as they springboard their season. Watch out for the Raiders this year. The Baltimore Ravens head to Denver to play the Broncos. On the defensive side of the ball for the Ravens, Jimmy Smith is a good cornerback. He's going to match up well against Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. However, I just see Denver really cruising in this game. It's not indicative of anything wrong with Baltimore. I just like Denver at home and win pretty handily, 30-17 Broncos. Then the Sunday night game, the New York Giants in Dallas to play the Cowboys. Neither team has looked impressive in training camp. The Dallas Cowboys have never lost to the New York Giants on opening day. I would have picked the Giants to end that streak had they looked any better in training camp than the Cowboys had. Unfortunately, they have not. And if I'm a Giant fan, I'm worried. This team has gotten off to poor starts the last couple of years, and it's really done them in. You don't want to see that again. I don't think they're going to have the poor starts they've had in the past, but I don't think they're going to win this game. No Jason Pierre-Paul doesn't really matter. Tyron Smith's going to shut down anyone on that defensive line. He's going to shut down almost anyone on the defensive line on any team. And that defensive line for the Giants is the weakest unit. The Dallas Cowboys have a strong offensive line, along with Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, and Zach Martin. Gonna make Joseph Randle look good. I think Joseph Randle can play. I'm not concerned about him. No answers for Dez Bryant in the secondary. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie is probably going to draw the assignment most of the night. He'll hang with Dez Bryant, but Dez Bryant's just too good, and the other weapons will pay off if they double team Dez Bryant, such as the Cole Beasley, the Terrence Williams, and Jason Witten. If they're double teaming Dez Bryant, those guys are going to get open. And I think Dez Bryant's going to shine late because they're eventually going to have to leave him one-on-one at some point. Cowboys 31-24 tomorrow night. Alright, so we'll give you a recap. Green Bay at Chicago, Packers big 34-17. Kansas City at Houston. Game that's going to affect the standings late in the year. Houston 21-17. Cleveland Browns at New York Jets, two last place teams. Cleveland comes out of there with the win 16-13. Indianapolis at Buffalo. Tyrod Taylor is going to shine in his first opportunity. The defense for Buffalo does enough even without Marcel Darius. Buffalo 20-17. Miami at Washington. The Redskins will rally around Kirk Cousins, but too much talent on the Dolphins side of the football, especially with Ndamukong Suh, and Tannehill will make enough plays. 23-20 Dolphins. Carolina at Jacksonville. Cam Newton is not going to let the Carolina Panthers lose this game to an inferior Jaguars team who will show improvement, but they're not winning this game. Carolina 27-16. Seattle Seahawks at St. Louis Rams, division game, so Seattle will have its hands full against the good but lesser team in St. Louis. Russell Wilson shows why he's going to win the MVP. He's clutch late. Seahawks 24-21. New Orleans at Arizona. Patrick Peterson neutralizes Drew Brees in the passing game. Chris Johnson runs well. Cardinals 28-20 at home. Detroit Lions at the San Diego Chargers. No DeAndre Levy for the Detroit Lions. Suspect secondary allows Phillip Rivers to find his big targets downfield. Chargers 28-24. Tennessee against Tampa Bay. The number 2 overall picks. Jameis Winston for Tampa Bay. The number 1, Marcus Mariota for Tennessee. The number 2. Tennessee, not enough talent, especially with the Buccaneers, who have a good young core, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Buccaneers 24-14. Cincinnati at Oakland. Oakland's going to springboard their season in the playoffs right here, as the offensive line is tested but passes, not in flying colors, but hey, C's get degrees, man. So the Raiders will win this game late, 24-23. Baltimore traveling to Denver. Jimmy Smith will play well for the Baltimore Ravens in the secondary. Denver is just going to cruise in this game. Doesn't mean Baltimore's a bad team. It's just how it's going to go for this game. Denver 30-17. And then the Sunday night game, the Giants at the Cowboys. Neither team has looked good in the preseason. No Jason Pierre-Paul, doesn't matter. No answers for Dez Bryant. Cowboys 31-24. Okay, so that's it. Stay tuned for us on Monday. We'll give a recap of all these games that were played, and we'll give you the predictions for the Monday night games. So enjoy the first football Sunday of the 2015 season. We got a lot more to go. So have a good day, and we'll see you on Monday.